And it's Paul who scores this time. Try time for Williams putting away his forwards there. That's good ball as they decide to come to the quick right. It's Andres who hits a good cap and he gives it out to his right winger. Cassius Williams were in for all money. Southern have turned us over and now they come through the hands. It's the 8th man, Nlanzi. He gives it out to his winger, back to number 13. To the inside they go and then intercepted by Jones, the captain, and the prop forward. The field for us. So now it comes to Benjamin. Through the hands, Andres, Benjamin again. He gives it out to Williams. Williams looking for some support on the outside, but he couldn't find Timmy. Try line of the Southern team. Here comes Paul now. They're going to put up the maul. Strong maul going, and it's still going now, brought to underground. The ref is illegally so. So they have the free hit, does Paul. And there's a cut through the line. A short ball given by Andres. Come out on the side of the Southern team. Out it comes through the 8th man. And then a beautiful delivery to the Dabani. He's still going, Dabani. Gets brought down to ground in the 22 of Paul. Was that done legally? Ref says yes. Clean up work. Still on the Southern side. They're keeping ball in hand, but they're not making many meters. Now they're making meters, and it could be trouble here for Paul. As they go over in the corner and try given. Men line up for Paul region. They go to the back. And they find Joseph. Now the big hard drive comes in. And over the top they go. As they go to the back once again. Taken well, and yes we do see But it's Bosman, the lock forward that comes around. He gets taken down. 7 meters from the try line. Out to the backs they come. Now in at the hands of Africa. Replacement. He pops it inside to Timmy. He's over. Well played. Wait for this kick. Kick taken now. Lead run for Tain this time. And he slots it right in between the uprights. And it'll be 54-8, the final score in favor of the Paarl region.
Hallelujah and welcome. Good evening. It's WP Jou Lekker Ding. As you just saw now there, rugby in the Western Province, healthy, strong, and continuously moving forward. That was the the score regional series that we saw happening this weekend. Of course, the Paarl team took on the team from the south, and the northern team took on the team from the central region. And what phenomenal matches we saw there, what talent we saw on display in those two matches. But that wasn't the only fixtures that was played over the weekend. Of course, we had our Super League A, Super League C, Super League C matches that also took place, as well as the Stormers who beat the Griquas on Friday evening. Fantastic rugby all around happening in the Western Province. And we are looking forward to another weekend of spectacular fixtures happening across the province. Does WP Jou Lekker Ding, please tune in. Give us your comments. Tell us where you're watching from. Of course, I've got a very special guest here this evening who's going to be chatting to us through a couple of things before we go into the big fixtures. We've also got representatives of Busy Bee as well as LANGA here. Of course, a massive Super League C match happening there tomorrow between those two teams. So please comment in, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and leave us a comment. That will really help with the algorithm and just help us to push the Western Province Rugby Union YouTube page to even greater heights. Of course, we want to take it further. We want to bring you all the rugby on weekends from almost all the divisions across the province. So with your likes, with your little comments, the small things that you are doing will just help us to improve with that algorithm and just help us to push things even to greater heights. But let me not continue. Of course, my name is Lucian Cupido. I'm your host here this evening. We're coming to you live from the MOJA Multimedia Studio here in Plumstead. And I've got one of my childhood heroes here. If you were a winger growing up between the 2010s, 2020s, you would know this man. Of course, a man who needs no introduction when it comes to wingers. No introduction needed when it comes to making history. Of course, played in 4 tests for the Springboks, scored 4 tries against Australia, history making 4 tries, and he's got 25 points on his tally for the Springboks. Played across South Africa, played for the Boland Cavaliers, played for the Cheetahs, played for the Falcons, played for the Sharks, and he's now plying his trade here in the Western Cape, where he's coaching for Western Province as well as assisting at CP2. I've got none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Jongi Nokwe here with us this evening. Jongi, how are you doing, sir?
Good, thank you, Lucian. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well, Jongi. Talk to us about Jongi Nokwe. Of course, just for those who are tuning in, Jongi, just to get a little bit of a background of, where you came from, where you were born, growing up. How did it all start for Jongi?
Jongi, I'm coming from Eastern Cape. It's where I was born in Eastern Cape. It's a small village. It's Kaiskamuk. It's where I was born, and then I moved down to Cape Town at the early age, and then I was staying in Khayelitsha with my aunt. It's where I went to the school there in Khayelitsha, Kwamfundo.
Yeah. Jongi, talk to us, of course, growing up, in circumstances like that, you don't know if rugby is going to be your thing. Are you good enough to play rugby? How did playing rugby start for you, and how did you that first catch of the ball and running around somebody and scoring that first try. How did rugby came about for Jongi?
The rugby started on my early age. The time I was still back at home at Eastern Cape. Unfortunately, the school I was, it's a school whereby the teacher, he was involved that time. He forced each and every boy to play rugby, you like it or not. And then it's where I also started to play rugby. And then I joined the Kaiser. And then after that, I moved down to Cape Town. But originally, I started to play rugby back at home at Eastern Cape.
Yeah, so you started from a young age, started running around. Jongi, talk to us. Obviously there might have been times in your life where you thought, "Hey, this might not be for me." Were there any of those moments that came to mind? Coming through.
To be honest with you, the time I was still young, I was just playing rugby for fun. To just enjoy, to just make sure I move out of that the street thing, so that I can make sure I'm safe. Because I noticed one thing in this side of the rugby, it's where you feel more safe and more comfortable than where you spend most of the time at the street. Because if you spend more time on the street, it's whereby you start to get those noticed up, and then you end up involved in those moments. That's why I say that time I was just playing for fun. There was no goals. They say maybe one day I want to achieve this and this. No, I didn't have that at all.
Yeah. Jongi, when did you realize, hey, look, it seems like I have the ability, I have the potential, to make a career out of rugby. I have, to make income, or to even, that rugby can be a career path for me. When did you realize that?
You start as soon as I moved from Eastern Cape, then come to Cape Town. Then when I was in Cape Town, then there's a club called PZP. I think Alfred is there outside. He was one of my player coach that time. Then I started to join PZP. I was still young as well that time. Then we played those Sunday league that time. There was no Saturday for PZP. We just play the Sunday leagues, and then just play Sunday leagues. Just enjoy with my friend, play those Sunday leagues. Then as you play, then I start to develop the interest, and then I start to follow rugby, watch Western Province, watch Pretty. Then I was then I'm like, hey, I so wish one day I can be in that field where Pretty is, because Pretty was one of my favorite players. Then.
Yeah, so
the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. Talk to us about that one decision. What decision would you say made the breakthrough for you? The decision that changed your life and eventually brought you to becoming a Springbok and play for South Africa?
It's only one decision I make. I just tell myself, you know what? I just need to be more serious about this. Not to wait for the coach to tell me to do stuff. I must also do the stuff before the coach told me stuff, which means I need to put more effort. Because I can see if I can put more effort, whatever opportunity come, then I'll be ready to take that opportunity. Luckily, the opportunity come, then I was ready.
Yeah, you were so ready. I mean, it was on your test debut that you scored the 4 tries against Australia, or was it?
No, it was a third game.
The third game, yeah.
It was a third game, because the first game, my debut, I played against Argentina at Ellis Park in Joburg. Then I scored 1 try against Argentina. Then we went to. Then after Argentina, Springbok, they play All Blacks in Cape Town. Then I come down with a team. But I didn't play in that test against All Blacks in Cape Town. I think All Blacks beat us by far also in that case, if I remember. I think they gave us 40. But unfortunately, Brian got injured in that test. And then Peter told me, okay, no, you're not going to go back to Cheetahs. Instead of go back to Cheetahs, you're going to go with us to Durban. We're going to play against Aussies in Durban. Then I play second test in Durban. And then the third test, we play Aussies again in Ellis Park. then it's whereby I managed to score those 4 tries in Ellisburg.
Of history-making moments there, Jongi, you know, legendary stuff of legend, you know, it just doesn't happen. It's like a little miracle, you know, and I truly believe your rugby career is a miracle, you know, and it's really, it's a life story that you can make something out of nothing, and that is what we're about here in the Western Province, making something out of nothing. Talk to us about, you know, that Springbok call-up, you know, I think that is something that most rugby players in South Africa dream about, you know, getting the call, telling, hey, just to be in the squad, going with the team, you know. Talk to us about that moment when you got that call, hey, Jongi, you must come join us in the Bok camp.
To be honest, each and every single player, if like you play rugby, like it's your dream to get that first call-up. That first call-up, I don't think so any player, he will forget that moment. Funny part was, I was still playing for Poland, the Currie Cup, the second division Currie Cup. We played the final on Friday afternoon. And the funny part was, my manager, Dan Pinar, he was my manager at Poland. He knew about that call-up. Apparently, the manager of Springbok, he informed him. But he didn't tell me on Friday after the final. He just asked me after the final because we were celebrating at the changing room. We just win the cup, the Currie Cup second division. The changing room was, you know, changing room of the professional rugby guys, how they are loud and music's pumping. Then Peanut and Denver come to me, ask him, "You gonna watch the Currie Cup final tomorrow? Where are you going to watch the Currie Cup final?" I said, "Yeah, table show, I will." "Where?" "No," I said, "No, I'm going home tonight in Cape Town, table show. I'll watch some of that side." He said, "Okay, sure." And then also, I didn't notice anything. I was just celebrating. Then on Saturday, I think Blue Bulls, I'm not sure if Blue Bulls was playing Lions or I can't remember. The Currie Cup, watching the Currie Cup, the final Currie Cup. Then after that, they're going to announce that the team, the squad is going on tour, the end of their tour. Then the president of SA Rugby read the names go through. Then I hear my name. And then I just look.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then I just look like, is it really? Luckily, I was with my friend Van Ross, and then Ross also, and then he come to me and say, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yes, Ross, I did. But I'm not sure if it's true or it's just a joke." Because I'm playing because for me, that moment, I know, like, if you play like the second division, there's no ways you will get the call up to the national team. It's always those guys that they play like the
Premier Division,
yeah, Premier Division, play Currie Cup, Super Rugby. I never play Super Rugby. And then my name, and then my phone started to ring. The manager of Poland phoned me. He said, "Jongs, congratulations. I know yesterday, but I didn't want to tell you so that it can be the surprise."
Wow.
Like, wow, what a surprise. And then my phone started buzzing. The people, they just phoned me, congratulations. But it was a big moment for me. That's why I say I'll never forget that moment.
Yeah, brilliant.
Even if like you didn't play, but that moment you get that first call up.
That's brilliant, Jongi. Thank you for sharing that with us. We do have the clip of the 4 tries that we're going to share. Just take us through those 4 tries on that day. What do you remember? Do you remember scoring them? Do you remember you know, sometimes we play rugby. There's certain moments that you can remember of matches, you know, but what do you remember of that day scoring those 4 tries?
I still remember those tries, and the way to go to that test, we are really under pressure because the Aussies, they just beat us in Durban and then went down to Joburg, and you know, the people, they were not happy. You know, if Springbok lose
2 games in a row.
Yeah, 2 games in a row. Yeah, the people, like, they not happy at all. And then us were under pressure. I remember the intensity of that week. It was really, but luckily, we have a lot of senior guys in that team. The guys, they know how to get out of that moment. And then they told us, the youngsters, you guys, you just need to believe in the system. and then we'll make sure we do all the hard work. And then they told us, you are the wing. Your job is make sure like you finish all the hard work. We're gonna try it. I remember on halftime, Joan Smith, he's in the circle forwards. Let's make sure we don't want the forwards they stand up on the wings. We got the wings. They can finish up the job. They can make sure they score those tries. That's why I also managed like to score those first tries. But I give the hands up to the forwards because the forwards that day they were like unbelievable. Yeah, they tried, and then us as a backs, we just get that opportunity, that 2-on-1, and then you have to finish that.
Yeah. If you missed that day and you missed those 4 tries that Jongi Nokwe scored against the Wallabies back in the day, we do have those clips for you. We're going to go for a quick 1-minute break to show you those highlights of those 4 clips, and then we'll be right back with Jongi to chat to you all about, obviously, the regional games that are happening again this weekend. Yeah, then we'll have some quick fire questions for Jongi, and then we'll also have the Busy Bee as well as the LANGA representatives here this evening. We'll be right back after the short break.
And it's a free kick. Now what will WP Jou do? Look how he digs for the ball. Goes quickly. Has Berg on the outside. Finds De Villiers. Nokwe! Jongi Nokwe! Maybe a dummy and go by WP Jou. No, decides to go outside. Speaks again. Springboks trying to force it over. Got a huge overlap here. Jacobs, Ndungani. Here goes Nokwe again. Jongi Nokwe! Dupia, overlap here for South Africa. James must be hat-trick. Jongi Nokwe, the second in South African ever to score a hat-trick against the Wallabies. It was done here.
Touch, pause, engage.
Dupia, James, De Villiers, James again, John Chers, little Danford, and Ndungani to chase. Now it's the bounce. What Ndungani? History has been made here. Jongi Nokwe goes.
Jongi Nokwe, 4 tries against the Wallabies. History-making moment. Fantastic to go back and look at those scenes there. We have the man here with us this evening in the MOJA Multimedia studio here for WP Jou Lekker Ding. Jongi, beautiful 4 tries, but talk to us. Obviously, you with Western Province Rugby Union at the moment, doing great things from within the office, coaching. Obviously, very involved with women's rugby at the moment, with the development. Talk to us about women's rugby at the moment in Western Province. We've seen the leagues grow, we've seen the teams grow, we've seen even today at the SA Under-20s where some of our ladies are playing. You know, in those teams, we saw in the SA Under-18 Western Province representing in both the SA schools as well as the SAA side. Talk to us about the women's rugby in Western Province at the moment.
I think Western Province women's rugby is in the good space here, to be honest. If you look at the team they play today, the Under-20, there's if I'm not mistaken, in that squad we have 12 players, the Under-20, they come from Western Province, which means whatever we are doing as at Western Province, we do like the good job here. The same as the Under-16 and Under-18, they just win their youth week tournament. Like I think 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. The Under-18, can't remember they lose the game ever since they established that tournament. The Under-16, unfortunately, last year they lose the final against the Lions, but the Under-18, they've been winning each and every year. same as the under-20s. The under-20s, they are the champion now. This year, I think was 5th time this year. They always win that cup, yeah. Which means like we do the good job, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a fantastic job at the moment, and well done to you and your team, Jongi, for the quality work that you guys are doing, developing the ladies. We can see that the conditioning is looking good, you know, the ball skill, the basic attributes that you need to be a proper rugby player, that you guys are really putting into place and making sure that the fundamentals for these ladies are correct. And kudos to you and the team behind the scenes working really hard. I know you and Faisal and these guys, you guys are putting in a massive effort to see these ladies be successful and follow a proper career path in rugby. So thank you for that, Jongi. Of course, we do have some fixtures this weekend, regional fixtures coming up this weekend again. We saw last weekend Paul against the southern region, where Paul were victorious quite comprehensively there. I think the score was 54 points to 8 there at Al Yusufat. And then there was a proper match at the Goodwood Sports Complex where the team from the north were victorious over the team from the central. I think the score there was 35-31. A match also that went into the last minutes. But this weekend, we move once again to the regional fixtures. Most of the teams only have 3 fixtures left, Jongi. If we're quickly going to run through the fixtures that's happening tomorrow in the northern region, we have Police Blackheath taking on Blakes. Whistling Wheels will take on Stellenbosch Coronations. Gordons Bay Pioneers play Excelsior. Fora take on Blue Stars United. Blue Stars United currently really pushing hard there in that first place. For Santa Kraal, at home to Morning Star. And those conclude the fixtures we saw this weekend, Jongi. Those regional fixtures, how we talk about a player playing for his club, and then he goes on, he plays for the regional team, and he stands out in the regional fixture as well. One name that that I can say that who's been doing things for club and regional team is Jean-Pierre Bontes. You know, he's been playing phenomenally well, the inside centre for Santa Kraal, and he's made a name now for himself in Western Province Rugby. How important do you think these regional fixtures are pairing it up with the club rugby fixtures?
I think that's original. That's a good idea. Because remember, you play for your club, and then you've been selected to play for the region. Now you play against other regions. They also have like the quality players. Then you never know who's watching those regions. Probably maybe like next year, maybe 1 or 2 guys that they play in that region. You'll see them. They play in one of those big clubs. They play in Super League A, Super League B. I think that's a good opportunity to the players to make sure they take that region seriously, because you never know.
You never know what can happen. You never know what camera is catching you. And well done to the victors there. But Southern Region fixtures for tomorrow. Big games happening. Khayelitsha taking on Peninsula. Blue Jets will take on Titans. Imikaya take on Amashi Pumelelu. That's going to be a proper derby match there as well. Lugunya take on Rocklands, and Young Wesley take on Retreat. Those are the southern fixtures. The Central Region fixtures for tomorrow. Suburban take on Silvertree. Thistles take on Temperance Cities. Manenberg Rangers, top of the lock. Manenberg Rangers take on Bishop Lavis. Elsie's Rivier United will take on Young Ideas, and Silverleaf will take on the team of Northerns. That concludes the Central Region fixtures. Paarl Region fixtures also going to heat up tomorrow. Big match happening there. Young Gardens take on Paarl Rangers in the top of the lock clash. That's going to be a match. It's going to be a humdinger. Top spot up for grabs there. Everybody wants that top spot, wants that main prize. Drakensberg play host to Violets. Riverstones take on Peril United. Lower Paarl take on Young Standards. And Windmill United take on Albions. That concludes the Paarl Region fixtures for tomorrow. Jongi, I've got some quick fire questions. Obviously, we're running out of time with you. You obviously still have to get home. And we don't want to keep you for too long. You know, you need that beauty sleep. Jongi, just some quick fire questions for those watching at home. It can be one answer, it can be quick. You can decide. Firstly, what was your favorite rugby moment?
To score 4 tries against Aussies.
That would have been mine as well. You were one of the fastest players I've ever saw on a rugby pitch. Which was the fastest player you played against?
Tonerai Shivang.
Tonerai Shivang. That guy was, oh, imagine you two going up against the best coach that coached you?
Hey, I've been involved with a couple of coaches, but I really enjoyed to work under Nakadrowski at Cheetahs.
Nakadrowski at the Cheetahs. Your favorite stadium you played at?
Wow. There's no other than Newland Stadium on Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff.
Oh, that is awesome. Talk to us, favorite Western Province moment.
Favorite Western Province moment?
Yeah, I dig that one out just here now. Because we're sitting in front of the Dizer. We want to make the Dizer big because the Dizer is still much alive. Your favorite moment with Western Province?
To be selected in that old days, they call it as a Dizer team. It's where exactly start my journey, where I start my journey to be selected in Dizer team. We play in George. Then after that, I get a contract at Poland.
Wow. You see those Dizer teams, the regional teams is now the Dizer, the previously Dizer.
Yes.
And it's so awesome, you know, people coming through there. Jongi, it's been an absolute privilege to have you here this evening. Thank you so much for making the time and being open and having a lekker chat. I think we can use these clips now and just take us back, that, especially that story that you told us, how you got the call to play for the Stormers. Jongi, any last message from your side for the faithful people watching at home, young men, you know, grinding it out to become a Springbok or to play for the Stormers, play for Province? Any last message from your side before you sign up?
I think to the youngsters, they also have like the goals and the dreams. The opportunity is there, but the opportunity they doesn't wait for you. You must chase that opportunity. How you do that is to make sure you do the extras, stay disciplined. Listen to the older people, they give that advice, and then you take it.
That is the words of wisdom from a man who's done it all. Jongi Nokwe, 4-try hero in one match for the Springboks. Thank you once again, Jongi. We're going to say goodbye to Jongi, but don't go anywhere. Of course, we still have 2 more representatives, one of Busy B, one of LANGA. We heard Jongi speaking about his time when his rugby started with Busy Bees, and that gave him the platform to obviously go through and do great and proper things in South African rugby. But before we go and we sit down with those 2 gentlemen, last week I had a good opportunity to sit down with the Deputy President of the Western Province Rugby Football Union, Mr. Munib Levy, and here is that clip where we got an opportunity to sit with a legend. Welcome and good day. You are tuned in to this special broadcast here this day, where I'm privileged to have the Deputy President of the Western Province Rugby Football Union here with me. None other than Munib Levy. Munib, good to have you. Good to have a chat, informal chat. Yeah. Obviously with the people of Western Province Rugby Union. You're doing well?
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me. It's my first time. I know you've been trying a long time, but sometimes on the spur of the moment is the best thing to do in life, eh?
Yeah, the spur of the moment, Munib. Things are going well in Western Province Rugby Union. We saw our junior teams doing really well. We see the club scene just going from strength to strength. You're enjoying what you're seeing within the structures of Western Province Rugby Union at the moment?
I'm actually overjoyed what's happening at the moment. If you look at firstly our youth teams, they did extremely well at the various youth weeks, but then the passion is always our local club rugby, and the leagues are very intriguing at the moment. If you look at tomorrow, for example, 1 and 2 in Super League A is playing against each other. Yeah. Then you've got another cracker in Super League B where Collegians is vying for that first place. Macassar is just ahead of them, but they're playing hands and hearts. And I read an article on Facebook now the other day. Someone said of hands and hearts, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And they've been on an amazing run at the moment. So it's going to be a very good clash. Super League C as well. You've got Rangers and Watsonia's fighting it out. I think it's a 1 point difference. So there's lots of exciting things happening, and obviously our regional teams. Tomorrow there's a few big games happening, but the thing of the regional teams, it sort of gave players and teams new energy. If there's a regional game, there's hype. The marketing is great of the various regions, and the people are invested into that. So I think that was a masterpiece that happened this year again.
Yeah, masterpiece, and you can see between you, the president, the exco, doing phenomenal work at the moment. Creative stuff that are coming through the ranks. You yourself, bleed Western Province Rugby Union. You and your brother, obviously applying a lot into the union. Talk to us about that. The relationship and your relationship with Western Province Rugby Union.
I think I was on the exco since 2010 already, as an exco member, and the good thing of this year's exco, of last year and this year, they always say there's politics on top and people fight against each other, although we think it won't filter, it filters down. Now once that filters down, can start to create inadvertently, but it creates, and that has a ripple effect, not just on the people, the office bearers, but also within clubs, because then clubs choose sides. Now I want to be aligned to X, I want to be aligned to Y, to Z, X, Y, and Z, and then we have to spend all our time focusing on the issues and not on rugby. I'm not saying there won't be challenges, I'll call it, there won't be challenges, we can focus on that. But the current exco, we are just focusing on rugby and what's best for the union and what's best for the clubs and how we can assist the clubs.
Yeah, and I have to say you are doing a phenomenal job at the moment. We've had a quick chat. I'm pretty sure we're going to have more in the future, Munib. What is your message that you would like to get across to the Western Province Rugby Union faithful, the supporters? Those people who come out week in, week out, not only supporting the Stormers, but supporting the club rugby team on a regular basis in the weeks.
And I'm going to speak a club that I'm associated with, which is SK Warmers. And 2 weeks ago, we played against Primrose. I don't know if you've seen the pics in it, but it was a packed stadium, packed to capacity. And I looked at this and I thought, wow, this is what we're trying to achieve across all the clubs, that all the clubs can be supported like that. But I always say, without the supporters, your Saturday games are going to be boring. They bring the spirit, they bring the gears, they shout for their teams. Because you must understand, in our communities, we work hard every week, we go through our challenges, and Saturday is our escape, is our outlet. So if your team loses, you feel it with your team, heart and soul. And then you just have to carry on again for the next week. Then you can't wait for the next week just to bring some joy into your life and into our community, because our communities lives for their rugby and for their sport. And to the clubs out there, some clubs are going through difficult times. Don't give up hope. I always say sports are cycles. You know, the 1, 2, 3, 4 clubs will flourish for a few years, then the others struggle. But then you'll see in a few years' time again, the other clubs come up. So if your club is not doing well at the moment, that's okay. It's regroup, pick yourself up, and then go forward again. It's not the end of the world. And you can only improve from where you are at now.
Yeah, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Munib Levy here from the DHL Stadium, where we just witnessed the Stormers beating the Griquas 25 points to 19. Anything that you want to add on to that, Munib, before we
on the game, I think it was a very good performance, and you must look at the Stormers has invested into the Currie Cup team, where the past few years they haven't. But this year, I think they've made an investment, bringing in players. And I think
even the coaching staff, bringing in a few other coaches as well there.
Yeah. There's a big group of coaches there. So yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah, all of the best. Thank you so much, Munib. Thank you for your time. A man who bleeds and loves Western Province Rugby Union, Munib Levy, Deputy President of the Western Province Rugby Football Union. It was an honor, it was a privilege. We'll have him back here on WP Jou Lekker Ding very soon. Thank you, Munib. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for what you and your team are doing for us.
There we go. See you again after this. That was our Deputy President, Mr. Munib Levy, and we had a good chat last week, Friday, there at the DHL Stadium in Cape Town, where we witnessed the Stormers beating the defending champions of the Currie Cup, the Griquas, on home soil. But we are now with two very special gentlemen, and they represent two very special clubs within the Western Province Rugby Union. I've got Mr. Alfred Kewana, Msutu Kewana here from Busy Bee, and Sipho Mgobozi from LANGA RFC. Gentlemen, very good. Pleasure to have you here. Gentlemen, doing well.
Good evening to you, sir. Yes, I'm doing well.
Mr. LANGA?
I'm doing well. Thank you for welcoming us, and greetings to all the viewers from their respective corners.
Yeah, Alfred, Busy Bee Rugby Club, 100 plus years in existence. We heard Jongi Nokwe speaking about him coming through as well. There's been some other Springboks who first donned the Busy Bee jersey, and then they went on to do great things. Talk to us about this prestigious club, which is called Busy Bee.
Busy Bee is the first black African club in the whole Western Cape. This club was formed by our grandfathers who came to Cape Town or Western Cape as job seekers. So they worked for Indian companies like Royal Dairies, Tactic Rice, the Epic Market, the railway lines. So they were in District 6, I believe the Hanover Street there. So they were staying there in the olden days, and then they formed this club and play with against clubs like Caledon Roses and Retreat, or those old clubs. They play all in Cape Town and different areas, but Busy Bees moved later into LANGA around 1927 because of the past. And then when we LANGA, we find a home away from home, and the club settled there for years. And then they produced Mr. Kemba Mdalo in 1965. He captained the Western Province board of those years, and then he was selected also to become a Springbok. We were playing with Norman Biko, those old boys in those years. And then the club was playing under Sunday League as a social league. Then LANGA was our board team in those days. So Busy Bees ended up being feeding the boys into the LANGA board team, as there was also in Kukuletu, the Lagunya, and there was also Saru and Saru and Western Board and Western Board of Rugby Union, and Tiger Bank, those, and what was the other one? Strand Licha. So Busy Bees was all these ways rolling. And then later in years, after unification, I came as a young boy. As I came here in 1986, I played also for LANGA, and that was the best prop in my time. Something came in my mind, and in our boys, that at least the club, the history, we cannot throw the history of this club. Otherwise, we throw our own black community, we throw our own history. Because if now we're gonna all fall into unification under Lagunya, which was established in 1992, after unification, we'll be throwing our club history. Then we requested Western Province to get us back, but the constitution also blocked them, because the constitution was saying there could be no club across the road. But then on the night, I thought, now I cannot stop there, so I went to Human Rights, which means I went to Human Rights to say Great Canby was in City Park. It's more than 4 clubs, which is Temperance, Perseverance, Progress, and Cities itself. But then they say in LANGA, we cannot have 2 clubs. I said, no, then we go to Human Rights. And Human Rights helped me, And then we sat around with the SA Rugby and Western Province. Then the club, they adopted it under the probation in 2005. Then we taken our probation and then we accepted. We said, don't give us probation. We want to be in the house. We want to be back where our grandfathers were. Then, but that year, we surprised everybody to become the champion because we beat everyone. And then after the handover, I went to the president. It was title. And then I asked him, Mr. President, how can we give someone a trophy, but that person is under probation? Then he said, no, Mr. Kewana, leave this thing now. You're inside the house. So it was a nice journey. After that, we produced some players that were good players. E.G. Nokwe, I coached him, my junior, he played with me. And then we keep on doing good work, and then I got a dream. We got ladies, what we're gonna do for them. There's ladies section, but now there's ladies, and then I formed the women's team. Later, I think about again, if we are still with you on Western Province, you must have a proper self-leader system. Then I founded the youth of PCPs. But there were two things, if I can tell you. I wanted to form an academy, but I thought, no, it's not a good right time. We're going to say PCP Academy, we're going to say the club is rich. Or I want to But I said, no, let me open up a youth team so that we can feed the system, then we can stay in Western Province system. So that everything went well. Then our boys now are representing CBUT in the Varsity Cup through our youth and Walter Sisulu. They're all taking from the club. That's why the club now he got his feed-up system for some. They go graduate to the colleges, and some stay in the club. And we help them also to get some work, and some help them to go more if they want to do maybe licenses or having a security certificate. We help them so that they can better themselves and look after their family. So far, I think that's good.
Wow, that is really good, and thank you for taking us back there, Alfred. And you know, real freedom fighters. Some of our clubs need people who are willing to go behind the scenes and put in the work. And thank you for your service there to Busy Bee. Sipho, obviously LANGA, big match coming up this weekend against Busy Bee. Talk to us about your club and its roots, its history, and what it means to the community to have a LANGA rugby club situated there.
Yeah, so LANGA was formed back in 1992. As Alfred mentioned, and there's a term that we use between the two clubs. We call it BZP Unozala, simply meaning they are the parent that gave life to LANGA. I mean, our club was formed back in 1992. And similar to the history of BZP, made up of people from various locations, I mean, all the way back from the Eastern Cape, local people. And I mean, we sort of broke away from the Sunday League activities because LANGA became the first black club to actually participate in Saturday League rugby all the way back in 1992. And majority of the players, I mean, broke away from the structures that he's mentioned, Ilagunya, and obviously some from BZP. Looking at some notable achievements that the club has achieved, I mean, between the years of 2008 up until 2010, we produced about 8 players who received provincial colors. I think back then it was the Western Province Dizer. Currently, we've got about 170 registered players, and 130 of those are seniors, and about 70 of those come from our junior structures. You know, I mean, from your under 14s all the way up to under 20. I mean, we are based in LANGA, but we are attracting players from within LANGA, within the surrounding communities of LANGA, going as far as Kailija, Delft, Nyanga. I mean, we're creating an opportunity for the young players to be active citizens, and also provide a structured rugby program whereby we are playing in a formal league. Apart from that, we're also involved mainly in schools between LANGA and Kailija, where some majority of our under 20 players and juniors comes from those schools. involved with community initiatives like recycling projects. I mean, we've got a relationship with a couple of schools in Kailicha and Kewana in LANGA, whereby if they need the services of the club, be it refurbishing classroom blocks, the club is really involved. I mean, the club is pretty much built on a strong set of values that has kept us alive and well for the past 34 years. I mean, when I joined the club back in 2010, our head coach then was Mr. Puzi, who was quite involved with women's rugby back then. However, through the work that has sort of developed from there and sort of passed on to the current executive, I mean, the club has stood the test of time, and we are still going strong. And obviously, it's the big weekend, you know. We divided between the four lines, but definitely sport will be the unifier of the day, and rugby will definitely be the winner. So that is LANGA in the long and short of it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sipho, for sharing us that story. I want to get to you, Alfred, before we go into fixtures. I have a question for you as well, but before we go there, I've got some comments here on YouTube. We've got people tuning in, Facebook, YouTube. There's some comments here. Vuyani says, Maka watching from Kualanga. Yonela is watching from Bela. I'm waiting for LANGA, as he said earlier. Nkokwena said, great achievement, indeed, Jongi. Ligle says, Awe LANGA. Linda says, hey, Dirango. Lutando says, Mr. Mgobozi. And Laletu is saying, I'm watching from LANGA. So we've got like a comments. Please leave more comments. If you are watching now, please like, subscribe to the YouTube page. We're going to take this all the way. There's another comment coming in here. Vianney saying, hola, Mr. Mgobozi. LANGA all the way. Alfred, you are the director of rugby at Busy Bee. Talk to us. You've seen it all now. The matches, you know, past matches that you've been busy with the team. What does this match mean for the, especially against LANGA, the derby match? What does this mean for the players, for the community, and for the club in a nutshell?
This is a big match for us as community at LANGA at large, because we are brothers. You will get Jongi, which is a surname in LANGA Rugby Club. You will get Jongi in Busy Bees. Yeah. You got Khadebe on the side, you got Khadebe on the side. So to our community, this is a big event which will make interest to the young boy who is 9 years or walking around the street in LANGA, because all we want to take the kids out of the dirty corners or away from drugs, which means, that's my slogan, a child in sport is a child out of court or out of jail. For me, it's a very good match, as I'm also an ex-player of LANGA. This is my club, ex-player of LANGA, which I take LANGA from the zones. Those years it was zones, and then we went up to Super League with Jongi. Then we retire from there. This is a big event for us, which is that's why we should be very proud in LANGA. Then the war songs will be sang in both right and left of the grandstand. Yes. So the players inside the field, they will tell themselves, my family is there. Don't listen to which side is singing. They sing for all of us. Yes. That is my piece of the day. And I'm supporting them to fundraise at least.
Yeah, that's it. I wanted to get that now, Alfred. Sipho, obviously tomorrow, big match. You know, you are the secretary for the club LANGA. Talk to us about, the sustainability of the club, how important a big matchup like this is for financial growth for the club and financial sustainability for the club.
Yeah, look, I mean, our club currently operates from a zero budget. However, we're keeping it sustainable through various donations that we get from all sorts of corners. So obviously a big game like this, I mean, it attracts quite a large rugby community, which then it showcases quite a great advert for community rugby. So obviously, as far as possible, we try and make some revenue out of it, which then that revenue supports us to keep the club up and running through transporting of players, paying medical fees, buying strapping, and all sorts of administrative costs. So it is quite a big game, and we were anticipating quite a huge turnout. If my numbers are correct, we will easily fill up the stadium with about 350 to 400 people. So if you're already doing the maths, you can already tell we'll definitely cash in. But I mean, apart from the sustainability, I mean, it promises to be a great game. Supporters will definitely be entertained. We sort of put out all the stops to make it a memorable experience from around access control. I mean, we're using one access point, definitely making sure that everybody's safe. They were also featuring Radios Bonello, who's going to be on at the field covering the game. There's Ivukani also coming in, so it's going to be a memorable experience. I mean, the game itself the derby goes back to 2018. Obviously, BCB is quite new to Super League. I mean, we paved the way for them. So, so I mean, apart from that, I mean, it is definitely going to be a special game, and it's one of those that leaves a lasting memory, be it you're a player, be it your supporter. So it's going to be massive.
It's going to be massive, as we can see on the comments. People are tuning in. We will have to go through to some other fixtures, gentlemen. Then we're going to get into the heart of this fixture to finish off the show with. We're going to start with some Super League C fixtures, obviously happening tomorrow. You guys will know these teams. Solorians is taking on Delft, 10th place, taking on number 7. Pineal Villagers take on Caledonian Roses. That is going to be a big game for Pineal if they want to stay in the run for a top spot finish. Gardens take on Scottsdene Central. Eerste Rivier take on Rangers. Rangers currently doing really well there. They occupy the first place in the Super League C. Gardens, I already said, taking on Scottsdene Central. Calmo take on Strand United. And Wraithby Universals take on Strand. Those are the Super League C fixtures. We're going to get to the LANGA versus Busy B fixtures in a minute. WP Super League B fixtures tomorrow. Things are heating up really hard there. Obviously, teams are battling for those top 8 spots. Don't want to fall into the bottom 8, which is, it's a lot of teams who will go down to Super League C, 8 teams. So everybody fighting for a top 8 spot. CPUT take on Hamlets. That's going to be a humdinger of a match. Young Peoples take on Ahmadiyas, number 14 and against number 15. It's going to be for bragging rights there. St. George's take on Collegians, who are in the 5th place. Now, I would not count out St. George's at the moment. St. George's playing really well, coming back. They are in a very unprecedented spot at the bottom of the log, but played really well against Makassar last week, taking them and fighting them all the way. So definitely a team to look out for. Goodwood take on Bialha. Bialha now occupying the 1st place. Goodwood in the 16th place. So it's number 1 or top versus the bottom. But in Western Province, you can never count out the underdog. So be sure that Goodwood will put up a proper fight, even though they are bottom of the log and even though Bialha are on top of the log. NTK take on Vineyards. If you go and have a look at the logs there, it's going to be a big match between the number 8 spot against the number 12 spot. A victory for Vineyards in this match would bring them closer to that number 8 spot. But a defeat here to NTK this weekend might make things very impossible to survive and stay in the Super League B for 2027. Violets in the 9th place take on All Saints, who are in the 6th position. Once again, same predicament between these two teams. You do not want to fall prey to a defeat in these dying embers of the league, with some teams only having 2 games left, some teams having 3 games left, and some teams having still 4 games left. All to play for in the Super League B. In the Super League A, we saw a phenomenal match, number 1 against number 2 last weekend, where Villager beat Durbell with the last kick of the match. Aiden Topley kicking it over to secure victory for Villager. on time in that match, and things are just getting much more serious in the Super League A. Kuilsrivier are going to be at home against Unimil. I think this will be a proper match for Unimil to see if they can defeat a team which they maybe in recent history could have defeated, but obviously Unimil now starting to build again. Brackenfell are at home to Falls Bay, number 10 against number 9. That's going to be a good derby match there as well, fighting for positions. Primrose in the 14th place. They take on a Funestel. Now, if you look at the lock, that is going to be a one for Primrose as well. If they can get a victory here, it will mean that they can leapfrog maybe into those top 12 spots and try something there. At the moment, the top 12 is occupied by Franschhoek. UWC currently in 13th place. They travel to SK Hormus, who are in the 5th place. Big match for UWC. They'll be hoping to get some points there if they can. SK Hormus has had a fantastic season in 2026, really doing well. Tygerberg are at home to Hamilton, number 7 against number 4. I'm pretty sure both teams will be hunting for a victory there tomorrow at Florida Park. And then the last match, Villager take on a Franschhoek. That's going to be a big match for Franschhoek, traveling from Franschhoek there to go to Brookside. Gentlemen, do you guys want to add anything with regards to the Super League fixtures that I just read out? Uncle Alfred, you know these teams, you know the Super Leagues, you know how tough it gets in the Western Province.
Super League C is a very tough league because no team wants to go to the regions or to the zone, to the regions like Central Region or Northern Region. Because if your team is relegated, you are in trouble. Because your youth, your under 20s, they're gonna fall out. That's where my worry is at the present moment, at the position where the club is. So if you're on Super League C, you always try your best to stay or to go higher, not to go down. But unfortunately, there is a relegation and promotion. So we as BCBs, we got a plan, which means we got 4 games left. And the home games, and we're working hard week in, week out to see that the club can stay in Super League C. As we got a fall down after COVID, because we as BCBs, we don't pay players. And our players are going out to feed players. As you can see at SK Hormus, we just said, they're a good team. The flank that they have, it's my development, which is Sasha Tuke, number 6. You come from my club. You can go to Ahmadiyas. There's Lisha there. You are here with all the boys. Say Lisha. We got Lisha by Ahmadiyas. We got all over. Our players are fitting in. Pawatonians as well. We also lost our coach, which was Nadim Mackenzie. He was coaching us for a couple of years. We thought he will be there, but he gone to Watonians. So what I'm trying to say, we are working week out and week in to stay in that league. Because after COVID, we lose some experienced players, which they retired, and some went for criminal patches, which are not against them, because they must also look after their families to put something on the table. But through our development system, we got hope that we will maintain Super League C and we take it fresh from next year and try to be promoted or to be in a better position.
Yeah, we'll speak about the position. Anything from your side when you see what's happening in the Super Leagues at the moment? Always a tough match, always tough competitions, logs, positions fighting for. Obviously, we're gonna move to 4 divisions next year: Super A, Super B, C, D, and then the zones. What do you make of the Super Leagues at the moment, Sipho?
Yeah, no, I mean, year in, year out, always competitive. And you one slip up, I mean, you find yourself in unfamiliar territory. Some interesting games, but I think the most important one is the one happening tomorrow in LANGA. And I think for us, I mean, the season hasn't gone as planned, but I think now in the current state that we're in, we're taking one game at a time. I mean, so many teams, one slip up, you in the relegation zone. And that is not where you want to be. But otherwise, we keeping our eyes on the goal, just maintaining survival, one game at a time, and then the points will take care of itself.
Yeah. Alfred, at the moment, obviously you guys are in that relegation zone at the moment. LANGA, 11th place. They are still safe for Super League D for 2027. Talk to us the importance about tomorrow's fixtures for you guys and what can we expect of Busy Bees, that the outfit that will be playing tomorrow. What can we expect of that team?
You know, we are not lucky to meet each other this time. This game is not good time when you can see that your team is really in hot water. We're really in hot water. So there will be no standing back from this game. And LANGA also, I know they are hosting us. Last year we hosted them and then we come with a victory. But I think they're playing more this year. But we as a club, we're behind our boys and we believe in our systems and we believe in our boys that they can do the best. Maybe at least if we can come with a draw, then we can look for the rest of the other games because this one is going to be a game of 2 halves.
Alfred is saying it's going to be a game of 2 halves. Sipho, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow when people rock up there? You know, what can they expect of this LANGA outfit?
Look, it's going to be action-packed from the first minute, 80 minutes of heart, sweat, blood, tears. It's going to be massive. For us, obviously, in a more comfortable position than our neighbors, but I can rest assured there won't be any mercy. We've got a slogan that says, no mercy, shoot to kill. And that's what we'll definitely be doing tomorrow. Look, like I said, whatever the result is, I mean, it will be a great advert for community rugby. It will be a great advert for the rugby lovers. So it will definitely be a hard 80 minutes and LANGA, here we come. We are ready.
They are ready?
The sting is here. Ready with the sting.
The sting is here.
The sting is here. Busy Bees ready with the sting.
Well, people are excited for this match. I'm excited, and is there a possibility of this match being televised? We did speak to the president this morning. I'm hoping that the game would be televised. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody from Eastern Cape wants to watch this match, and it just goes to show, you know, Western Province club rugby, people across the country, across the world want to watch the rugby. We've also got some good other comments here before we sign out, guys. Vuya said, Tata Msutu, watch out revenge tomorrow. Yeah, last year, LANGA all the way. Sia Bengena. Kaya says, I will be there, and it's going to be a big game. Dumisa says, this is a fixture that excites both teams every season. It's all about pride for each team and earning bragging rights. Rugby definitely wins on the day and legacy gets created. That is Dumisa saying that. Sikumbuzo is saying, is there possible? Just said that, yeah, Sikumbuzo. Liletu is saying, I will be there. Kaya is saying, Siso Dudula, Lonto Soze. Guys,
yes.
Yeah, guys, understand. Yeah, it says Siso Dudulo, Lonto Soze, and Zeke Kwalanga Sikona. Did I pronounce that correctly? I'm gonna learn. I'm learning every day.
Yeah, you get. You know, I don't want to leave this behind. There is a history that is going to also happen in our club tomorrow. Our women's side is playing against UWC. So a lot of people know about that.
Yes, please talk about it.
UWC is the champion of USASA, or USA Games.
Yes.
And then basically is the top of the log of Western Province log. So tomorrow, my first Springbok that I produced, Manela Makwazeli, she's playing for BCBs. Her daughter is playing for UWC. So there's also the grudge match. The first mother is going to fetch the child, their own child, in women's rugby in whole Western Cape.
Wow.
That's the first time that the child is going to play against her mother. In men's, could be, a man will play against her son, but in women's, this is going to be history making. As I said, this game, we got the belief that we got the green wins for growth, white goes for hope, and the red stands forgetting rules and the blood that was shed, which is going to be shed by our brothers against LANGA, and our brothers by LANGA, they're going to shed that blood with us because we want unity, one community of LANGA.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward.
They're looking forward to it. And that's where they settle the score now between the 4 lines. And tomorrow is the place to be. LANGA against Busy Beam. One more comment here. Vuvu is saying, it's going to be a big match. Indeed, Busy Bee versus LANGA, and Yonela said she will be there tomorrow. Gentlemen, it's been a fantastic evening. Thank you for, taking the time. I know it's Friday evening. You could have done anything, but you guys decided to serve your club, decided to serve Western Province and the Daisa, and you guys are doing phenomenal work in your clubs. Any last words from you, gentlemen, as we sign out here from the MOJA studios? People are watching in, people are tuned in, the faithful are tuned in. Any message from you guys before we sign out?
Ladies first.
Oh, I'm the visitor. Even the cloakroom. Tomorrow, my boys, they must know. They're going to use the visitor's cloakroom. Yeah, the main cloakroom is for those.
Yeah, you guys share the same image, and tomorrow is going to be a proper match.
Yes, from my side, quick and short. I'm the Mandela child, which is a way living Mandela's way. That's it. Sport, Sunday night. And wash another head. So, and on top of that, we love the parents of my color to do as other regions do, to go fill up the stadium and support their child. The child, when you see the parents that there's something that they love, the child, his heart will be big, and that hard child will hit the halls to gain higher honors up to the Springbok. Even if she can come as a coach, because the parents is after that child. So that's what is missing in our community. But we believe by coming here and selling this game, some parents will come and support and see what we have done for the years. Then lastly, from our brothers of LANGA, wish them all the best for the event tomorrow. And the man on top, thank you for giving us this honor, and this is blessing for the old men apart. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to it. So thanks to you guys for granting us the platform to definitely market the game of rugby and most importantly, the fixture. To the supporters of both clubs, come out in numbers. It's definitely going to be a cracker. Arrive early, secure your spot. You just don't want to miss out. So all the best to everyone. All the best to Nozala. We shall make sure we have some honey.
They'll make sure, LANGA said they'll make sure they have some honey tomorrow. Don't miss this match. It's LANGA taking on Busy Bee tomorrow. It's going to be a fantastic Super League C matchup. And hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you on our live stream platform. One last comment here. Shisonke is saying, no mercy, LANGA. Shoot to kill. Gentlemen, appreciate you for coming out. Thank you to each and every single person who tuned in online this evening. Thank you to the team behind the scenes, of course, all the time, doing a fantastic job. Cupido, Winnie, and Noor, as well as those in the Western Province Rugby Union offices, of course, Faisal and Denzel doing a great job. And thank you to the president, Mr. Kevin Kivitz, for allowing us to do this. May we go from strength to strength here in the Western Province Rugby Football Union. My name is Lucian Cupido. See you again next week, Friday, same time, same place. More action coming to you again. See you then. God bless.